Awesome. So we are live now. I'm gonna make you host, and then you will have to make me co-host again. This
Okay,
time.
sounds good. Hi, May.
Hi, Scott. I'm back.
Yeah, how are you?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good.
Excellent.
Yeah.
And
Who's your friend there?
oh, this is Shelly.
Shelly. Hi, Shelly.
She can't hear you because I've got my headset
Oh,
on.
yeah.
It helps with all that noise and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I should invest in a pair of those myself.
They're good.
Yeah. There's Susan.
Hi, how are you?
Good, Susan. How are you?
Doing well.
Good.
Susan, I just want to say I love your photos that you submitted in last week for the photo challenge. So,
Oh, thank
and
you.
you inspired me to take a whole bunch, and I sent a whole bunch in for this week.
Wonderful. That's great. That's great. It's it's an inspiration to everyone to share photos and get enthusiastic about taking more.
Yeah. That is exciting to hear people are excited about taking more.
Yes.
Yeah. Hey, everybody.
Hi, Scott.
Hi.
Hi. I'm going to give it another minute, make sure everybody gets in. And then we can start talking. Whoops. And I need to set my phone to do not disturb. Okay, that's better. All right. So I have my colleague Michael here, and he'll be available if you're having any trouble with the Zoom in any way, shape, or form. But otherwise, I can get us started. I'm going to go through my introductory slides, and then we can just go ahead and talk. And I'm happy to answer questions and hear all from you about what kind of photography you're working on. Okay. All righty. So just going through the intro slides. Most of you have been in my other classes, so this is repetitive, but I live in Silver Spring, Maryland. That is a Washington, D.C. suburb. And in addition to serving as a GetSetUp guide, I'm a freelance writer and photographer. I dabble in all sorts of photography. I've never really been able to force myself to specialize in everything. I especially love nature shots, but I also really enjoy doing portraits. And I really love GetSetUp for the interactive learning that it promotes. I learn something new every time I lead a class. Which is great. And I just love the community that we're building on this GetSetUp platform. So we are here to help you learn and connect with your peers. We learn from each other. So if you're comfortable being on camera, we always love to see you on camera. It just creates more of a social connection. If you'd like a recording of the class, you always check to make sure that's recording. You can email help@getsetup.io, and we'll be glad to send that to you. And if you are joining us by live stream, welcome. Hope you enjoy this conversation. But the best way to participate in any of our classes or interest groups is to join us and register for a class. That way you can interact with the other learners and the guides. And lastly, GetSetUp isn't paid to promote specific products. So if I mention any specific product like Canon or Nikon or anything like that, it is just informational. It's not meant to be an advertisement. Okay. So from there, love to hear some questions about photography, anything you want to ask.
Scott, your
anything-
camera, Scott, your camera is off.
My camera went off. It's been doing that lately. Thanks for
Oh,
the heads
dear.
up.
There you
There
go.
we go. Yeah. I think it's every time I slightly move my computer, it wants to do that. So I've got to work on that. Anyway, feel free to ask a question or let me know what kind of photography you've been working on. Anybody want to start?
I've just been playing with my iPhone. It's my first upgrade since my iPhone 5. So I now have the iPhone 12 Pro and just trying to take snaps with it. And it's like, whoa. So nothing in specific. Due to COVID, I haven't been going out, but lately I've been going out and taking your class helps, especially with the photo challenge. So it makes me have a goal of what to take. And
Yeah.
so that has been fun.
Yeah.
So thank you so much.
Oh, you're welcome. What kind of things do you think you'll like to take pictures of, May?
I don't know. I mean, I'm just experimenting with stuff.
Yeah.
With my iPhone 5, I had a set of those macro lenses that you clip on.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, and that was really fun. And I took some pictures of those. That was a while back. But now it's just exploring what I can do with the iPhone,
Yeah.
iPhone 12. So snapping whatever that I see and nothing specific, but taking the challenge class was fun because I went out specifically looking for birds and see where I can go and take pictures of birds. So that was really fun. And then I find what was hard was taking silhouette pictures. So, and so which I submitted into the photo challenge, but I discovered an app called Snapseed, and I was trying to edit it, and so I've edited it to where I think I like it, and I submitted in for the challenge and see what people will say if you were to show it. I don't know.
Oh, I'm excited to see that. Yeah, I actually teach a class on Snapseed.
Cool.
It walks you through the whole app, all the different things you can do on that. So
That would be fun.
yeah.
So that's all I have to share.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's great. I'm excited to see that photo of the silhouette. Yeah.
And from a distance, and what I like about the iPhone 12 is like you can zoom in, you can.
Yeah.
That is pretty far, so that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
'cause,
Yeah, I do like, I have an iPhone 11 Pro Max, so just a little bit down from the iPhone 12, but I had a little bit of a learning curve with the new camera when I got it because, well, a lot of things on the phone when I got it because it's quite different from the iPhone 8, which is what I upgraded from.
Well, I went from a 5.
Yeah. I had a 5 at one point too, so I know what you mean.
So it's like, whoa.
Yeah. I usually jump about 2 or 3 generations, but never just upgrade once a year like some people do. That's a little too much.
Well, you can see how far back I was from a 5 to a 12
Yeah.
Pro.
Yeah. Other questions?
I have a question. It's sort of not to do with taking pictures specifically, but for those of us that have like an iPhone or a phone, and then we have separate cameras, any suggestions on how to organize photos or how other people organize their photos? Do they keep it separate by, I took this on my phone, I took this on my point and shoot, I took this on my DSLR, or is it just everybody mingles things together and just by like date or something?
So Jeannie, if you're comfortable with sharing things in the cloud, so to speak, couple of apps that are really helpful for that are Google Photos and Amazon Photos. We have classes on both of those, but they do a lot of that automatically for you.
Okay, so I have taken those classes, and I like Google Photos. I think better than the Amazon Photos, or I don't know. I mean, I've been playing around with both of them, but I just have photos from my phone on there. I have not uploaded anything from other cameras, so I can just upload from other locations.
Yeah, if you've got, say, some little drawing a blank on the name of them, the data
Memory
cards, the little data
Yeah.
memory cards in your camera, you can attach your camera if you've got a cable there, or just I can just stick my data card right into my computer.
Yeah, that's what I do.
And I think you can just drag and drop those photos directly from that data card over to your Google Photos account. All you need to do is call it up on your web browser and call up and open up your account, and you can drag and drop those right in. And from there, that artificial intelligence starts working, and and it'll read the metadata, so it will know the dates that the photos were taken. If they're all digital photographs, if you took an analog photo and then scan that in, it's a little different. It's going to read it as the day it was scanned rather than the day it was taken. But
I'm not worried. I'm more trying to look at how to organize things and keep them all together, because right now I've got the phone stuff is on like Google Photos, and the digital camera stuff is on my PC hard drive. It backed up, to a separate thing, but it's just I'd like to get them a little bit more consolidated and wanted to get some suggestions.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, you bet. Happy to answer.
I have a question. Can you back up and sync your Google Photos to a Mac? I'm having trouble doing that. I can't get the icon to appear on a MacBook Pro that I have. I have the iCloud photos, but I don't want to use iCloud photos. I want to use the Google Photos.
Yeah. So Georgianne, to my knowledge, there is no desktop version of Google Photos. So that's the one difference between Amazon Photos and Google Photos. Amazon Photos does have that desktop app that you can just open up without going onto the Amazon website. With Google, it doesn't work that way. You actually have to open up your Google account on your browser to get into your account.
Okay, then that answers a lot of questions.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, Cindy.
I did what you said about downloading all my photos from iPad and my phone and set each of those devices up with Amazon Photos. But I still have like a whole thumb drive of thousands of photos and everything that's on my computer. So what do I do with that thumb drive? Connect it to the computer and then somehow drag that into Amazon?
With Amazon, I think you can do a drag and drop.
Okay.
If I remember right, it's I teach classes on all of these, iCloud, Amazon, Google Photos, so I can't remember. But just to test that out, why don't we call up that I'm going to call up. For some reason, I had a little glitch with my computer earlier today, so it's not letting me through the app. So I'm going directly through the web here. But if I want to take a photo and drag and drop it in here, let me see if that works. Okay.
I haven't installed the Amazon app on my computer yet, but that'll be the next thing to do, and then get everything into there.
So I'm not sure that is dragging and dropping in the way it would. Drop here to upload. So it does do that.
Okay.
So you could grab a whole bunch of those at once. I think I'm having an upload error there, but that's more something related to my computer right now.
Okay.
But yeah, you could take a whole bunch of photos and just drag and drop them in there. And if they're digital files, then what you'll find, take a look at a picture like this. This was something I did with a special lens on my iPhone. But it will read all this metadata, and metadata is just information that's embedded into your digital photo. So it's recorded the date that I took it and the device I used. And if I had taken this with a digital camera, it would have recognized that, and it would have had the brand of the camera and everything. And it also has a location. So all that would get organized for you as you're pulling those in.
And then after that, you start tagging, and you also start creating albums. Is that how to get this all organized?
So you can do that, although a lot of the tagging is done for you.
Yeah.
So if you'll notice here, if I go down to things, right, it's already showing you just some things that have been tagged, and it is not limited to this list.
Okay.
But you'll see here, I have 1,600 pictures of birds, or in this case, bird houses. I do like to take pictures of birds. It's not completely accurate. As you can see here, it's getting a lot of other things in there. Here's the quirky stuff it does. If you'll notice here, it picked up this eagle on my nephew's shirt.
Oh my gosh.
And saw it as a bird. So that's how it got captured in there. So some of this is not as accurate as what I found on Google Photos, I have to admit, but it still is tagging it for you. So say I want to just do a search for, say roses. Let me see what happens there. Yeah. Again, it's not real accurate. It's picking up everything, tulips and everything else. But if you go with a more general term like flowers, you can go down and look through here and maybe look for the date, if you remember the date that you took that photo, or the year, say, or something like that, and narrow it down to just that year.
Did you create those categories of things, or
No.
was that part of the
No, I
program?
did not.
Okay.
That did it. That's some of the artificial intelligence that's built in there.
Okay.
But you're not limited to that. You can go to albums. You'll see I created a few here, mostly for demo purposes, but you can create your own customized album and then drag and drop photos right in there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. I've
done some albums, books, and a lot of canvas prints and things from different travels over the years. But I've not gotten my things organized, and I got to get them organized. It's driving me crazy not to be able to find what I'm looking for.
Yeah. Yeah. I know what you mean. It's so easy for those to pile up so fast that all of a sudden it's out of control.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
Is Amazon Photo free, or is it a paid thing?
It is. Well, okay. So Amazon Photos starts out giving you 5 gigabytes of free space, which isn't very much, especially with photos, because they take up a lot. They're just very data rich files. But if you are an Amazon Prime account holder or customer member, I don't know what they classify people who have Amazon Prime, you get unlimited free storage as part of that Prime subscription. So I'm backing up quite a bit on Amazon just because I can upload and back up as many photos as I want, as long as I stay a Prime member.
That's good information to know. I mean, I'm an Amazon Prime member, and I had no idea I had access to that.
Yeah, it's really weird. They do not market that very much. I mean, the big things they sell with Amazon Prime, right, are the free shipping on all your orders and the Prime Video. And you know, I think we got it simply for the free shipping because we do order a lot of gifts for people on Amazon, and but yeah.
Well, I
that's
joined
another
Amazon
Benny.
Prime. Yes, I joined it because of the pandemic.
Yeah, yeah,
So I'm like, oh,
yeah,
that's good to know. Thank you.
yeah, yeah. How about others? How about you, Audrey? Are you out photographing a lot, or just kind of you can go ahead and unmute yourself if you want. There we go.
You hear me now?
Yeah, sure can.
Okay. Well, I recently bought the iPhone
Yeah.
11. I think it's like yours, iPhone 11. I'm not sure if it's Max. And I really want to learn what to do with it, how to really maximize my use of it. I'm taking through the UFT retiree program. I was a former school social worker. So I'm taking a course that's called Photography into Scrapbooking.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I thought originally it was going to be scrapbooking all my old photos.
Yeah.
That I had in albums, taking them out and creating scrapbooking. But instead, the teacher has us do photography also. So she sends all these different tutorials on photography because she wants us to really, and there are really some good photographers in the class.
Yeah. Yeah.
They take these fantastic pictures with their iPhones and tripod and all kinds of different things. And I just want to be able to take just a nice, decent picture, you know?
Yeah.
With my iPhone. So that's why I joined the class, because I want to learn how to use my iPhone. And she talks about Snapseed.
Yeah.
Do a before. And so when you mentioned Snapseed, I said, oh, I can learn how to do it, because the homework for this week, Friday, is a before and after picture using Snapseed.
Wow. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So
yeah.
I thought it was quite timely that you should, and coincidental that you mentioned Snapseed.
Yeah. Yeah. That, I don't know when we're offering that class again. I don't think it's going to be before your
Friday.
before your due date, but Friday morning, at 9 a.m. Eastern time, we do have a class on how to take great pictures with your iPhone. And it shows you how to really maximize all the tools on the camera on your phone. Some of the things you may not realize are even there that you can do.
Okay.
So, especially with an iPhone 11, you can do quite a bit.
Good. My class starts at 10.
Okay.
So I can take the class at 11 and go right into her class and look like a pro.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Scott, do you have that class for iPhone in the afternoons or in the evenings?
It rotates around a little bit. So at some point it will be. Yeah. 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 That is my flagship class on GetSetUp. That is the first class I ever taught.
Unfortunately, I have to work. So daytime, it's hard. I can only take classes in the afternoons, or evenings.
Yeah. Well, they move around on the schedule some on the different classes. So, yeah.
I'll keep an eye out on it. So thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. Is everybody else basically using their smartphone to take pictures, or are people using digital cameras some? I know Susan does.
Yeah, I think I'm the only holdout that I'm still playing with my digital camera, but that's just my own personal interest. I use my smartphone to take pictures of grandkids and stuff like that. Yeah.
I guess I prefer what they call a real camera.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've been using my smartphone more recently, but I also, depending on what I'm doing, I also use digital camera.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've still got my digital camera, but I want to go more and more to the smartphone and be
Yeah.
done with all the other equipment.
Yeah. Yeah.
I gotta
Well-
say, the smartphone does have quite a nice camera. I have the i11 also, so
Mhm.
it's a really good camera.
Yeah, it really is. And, you know, I do have to say that it does get to be a little cumbersome to be dragging around a lot of photo equipment. So if you've got it, a lot of capability in that little smartphone, you know, if I go out to do something really, well, sometimes for paid, paid work, but also just for, you know, I'm going to be taking my niece's senior pictures. She's graduating from high school next year. And I just did one for a family friend. I did his senior pictures for that. And I still, for that, I always take my digital camera and take photos with it because the smartphones are great, but they still don't quite hold up to a good digital camera in terms of the control that you, the photographer, have.
You have a lot more information on a digital camera than you do on a phone.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so you can adjust it differently.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
It's a better quality.
Yeah. Although it is really amazing what they keep adding as apps, like photo editing apps or just photo taking apps.
Yes.
All the time I'm finding new things. The one thing I always like to do is take a long exposure of waterfalls. So you get that nice blur in the waterfall, right? There is now an app that will do that for you on your smartphone.
Wow.
And I still like to get my digital camera out to do those. You know, you have to set everything up right to get that longer exposure, to keep the shutter open longer and everything else. And sometimes you have to have, depending on the time of day, if it's really bright out, you might need a filter, like a neutral density filter over your lens. So you can take that long exposure without letting in too much light. But you also need to have it on a tripod, because if you don't have the tripod, it's that long exposure, it's going to pick up the movement of the camera. And as steady as we think our hands are, they still shake a little. So the camera will pick that up. With this smartphone app, it doesn't matter. I can just hold it and it captures that blurry waterfall effect. I think that app is called Spectre. And I was very dubious when I downloaded it, but I was really pretty wowed by the results. I used it a couple years ago at Falling Water when my family got together up in the Laurel Highlands in Pennsylvania, and we went there to the Frank Lloyd Wright house, and there are a lot of waterfalls there, obviously, and I got that effect there. Yeah.
So I was trying to search on it. I can't seem to find that app called Spectre, Spector.
Let me see if I can look it up here. It's Spectre.
Oh.
Apparently. Yeah.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
I see the app. Well, I'm not sure I want to pay $3.99 for it at the moment.
Is it $3.99? I honestly can't remember. I've had it so long, and I'm pretty cheap when it comes to photo apps, but every now and then I will buy one. I did just pay $2 for an app that will actually help you completely remove an object or even a carbon-based life form from a photo, just by rubbing your finger over it and hitting a button, and it disappears and it looks like nothing was ever there.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
And
It's cool. What is that called?
That one is called Touch Retouch.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And it's an app?
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
Yeah. That one is a lot of fun. I do teach not only I have a class devoted purely to Snapseed, another one devoted to different mobile Photoshop mobile apps that, unlike Photoshop for the desktop, these are free to use and they can do all kinds of things to your photos. And then another one on just sort of a general overview of photo apps. And that particular one I mentioned, the touch retouch, I do cover in that class. So I do live demos of it in those.
So those are great. And I'd like to do two things, is to be able to take picture of a full moon. I've seen photos taken from camera, like phone cameras that take beautiful full moon pictures, and also lightning. That's another thing I like to do.
Yeah. I've never been able to capture lightning. Yeah. So,
Those are hard. The only time I've able to capture is because it was a video and I did a screenshot of it.
oh, okay. Okay.
That's what I did.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was for lightning, but I could never take moons. Moons just shows up as a bright blob.
Yeah. And that's taking it with a phone.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. I've never tried taking moon picture or lunar pictures, whatever you want to call them, with my phone. So I'd be curious to see how it would turn out. One thing, and I don't know if this would make a difference or actually make it worse, but the latest models of the iPhone, I think starting with the iPhone 11, have a nighttime mode on them that comes on automatically if you're in low light. And it's just sort of optimizes everything. So it's a nice, well lit shot without activating your flash on your camera. And
It probably increases the ISO.
yeah, exactly. It'll say also 3 seconds or 2 seconds when you click on it. So it's keeping that little shutter on the camera or whatever open a little while longer to let all that light that it needs to in. So it's the equivalent of what you would have to do with a digital camera and getting a longer exposure if you're taking a shot at nighttime to get enough light in. Otherwise, it is going to be dark with maybe one little light blob out there.
You'd probably be better off making sure that the camera is either resting on something or else having one of those little camera tripods, because if you're taking a 1 second shutter speed with a handheld camera, you're going to get a big blur.
Yeah, exactly.
Even if it's an iPhone.
Yeah. And they do make little tripods. Well, actually, I think even the normal length tripods that will fit, that an iPhone will fit in, or any kind of smartphone will fit in. They're adjustable to hold that. Some are designed specifically for smartphones, others for both cameras and smartphones. And those you can find those on Amazon or probably B&H photography store online. Yeah. Anybody else try to take pictures at night and not been happy with the results? No. So go ahead, Steve.
I've tried to take pictures of the moon, the sun, the best picture I think I got was in New York of the I guess you call it the blue moon, whatever you call that. There's there's a covering around it. I don't know how to explain it.
Like a halo around the moon?
Yes. And I think they call it the orange moon or something. I'm not sure what they called it. But anyway, I actually captured it. I thought I captured it outside, but that didn't work. I was actually in my son's apartment taking it through the window. And it worked out fine. I thought there'd be glare from the window and all that. That didn't happen. It was really neat.
Yeah.
But I tried to take it outside, but it just didn't work. I don't know why.
That is interesting. Yeah, I'm not sure why that happened either, but yeah. I have been surprised though in the past when I've just kind of on a whim taken a picture through a window and found that there's not as much glare there as I thought. And usually that's when I'm using my smartphone that I see that. So yeah. So Cindy, what are all those old photos that you've got? You said you've got a whole bunch that you want to transfer over to Amazon.
Oh, from various travels.
Yeah.
Let's see if I can get in front of some of these that I've done. Oh, I don't know.
Wow.
if you can see them.
Wow.
Does that help at all?
Yeah.
Wow is right.
That is
Oh my
beautiful. Oh my
goodness.
gosh.
Those are
Beautiful.
those
They
are
are.
awesome.
I call
Oh,
this my
my.
travel wall.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Yeah.
Wow.
Africa, Bruges,
wow.
Canada, Keukenhof in Amsterdam, the Tulip Festival.
Yeah.
This is a,
Oh,
see that, the glare is too much on it. Italy,
Yeah.
Alberobello, Las Vegas, an eagle up in Nova Scotia,
Mm-hmm.
ooh.
all kinds. And then this one was through a bus window.
Okay.
See, it looks like it was actually in Cannes, France,
Yeah.
and it looks like turrets from Russia or something. But
Right.
Fantastic pictures. You're a great photographer.
thank you.
Yes,
Never
Cindy,
had any
beautiful.
lessons. Never had any lessons.
Wow.
Which is why I'm trying to learn what I'm supposed to be doing now.
I have a son who's a freelance photographer in New York. I mean, he's so much better than I am. I mean, but his interest came from me. But he took a picture of Trump right like 5 inches away from his face, got on the front page. And then he's taken other pictures too, like of the Pope. There were about 200 photographers taking pictures of the Pope. And they had to put all their cameras in a room so that the dogs could sniff and all of that ahead of time. But his picture was on the front cover and in the paper. He had two photos picked.
Wow.
From those photographers. So he's a really good photographer. I can't claim that at all. But your photos are wonderful.
Thank you. I ended up doing all the postcards in the little village in Vermont that we were from, and things like that. But it was just trial and error, really.
Yeah.
And with the older cameras and then a digital camera.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm trying to get myself into the computer age.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I give you a lot of credit for framing them, getting that on a wall. The ones you wanted to frame, the ones you didn't want to frame. I mean, I see some that don't have frames, but
those are actually canvas.
Yeah.
Those
yes,
are canvas prints. So I didn't want
Yes.
to frame those.
no,
Yeah.
right. So I mean, just you picking, you know, how you did. It's wonderful. I'm impressed.
Thank you.
Yeah, I am too. Those are gorgeous. I'm curious about the canvas prints. Were you pretty happy?
Yeah.
I'm curious, number one, where you got them printed and if you were pretty happy with the quality.
Yeah, very much so. I did use printer picks for a while, but then went to Canvas. Was it Canvas Prints or Canvas.com? Canvas.com, I think it was.
Okay.
And I found their prices to be quite good, and especially when they ran specials. And
Yeah.
very, very pleased with the results. So.
Yeah. I used Easy Canvas Prints, which is another one that I don't know, the name of the company made me a little nervous because it sounded like, you know, something like much more lower quality, I guess, or something. But I did try it out and ended up using the pictures I got printed with them as gifts.
Yeah.
The quality was excellent and the delivery was pretty quick and I was really happy with them.
Good.
Yeah.
I didn't have enough wall space to continue doing this, so I went to doing photo books. And that's been fun too,
Yeah.
but just kind of trial and error.
I'd love to see your books. I mean, they must be fantastic.
I would love to see it because I could use that for my travel scrapbook.
Yeah, there you go.
I have
Yeah.
a lot of pictures from my travels also. So I would like to get some ideas from you, Cindy.
Oh, look at that. Oh, my goodness.
Whoa.
Wow.
Oh, my
Matching-
goodness. Wow.
That's
That was-
amazing.
In the national parks.
Wow.
That's
Um,
fantastic.
This is the cover I like. This was Western Canada. Let's see if I can get it for you.
Wow.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Beautiful.
Wow.
Beautiful.
Stunning.
Vancouver and the park.
Exactly.
Wow.
Wow.
West. Oh, great
It is-
idea. Wow.
It's fun to do, and you
I
don't
have a
have to,
sister who lived there.
and you
Mm.
don't have to take up as much wall space. This
Oh,
was
That's right.
Wow.
Garden of the
Oh.
Gods in Colorado,
Yeah.
Colorado Springs.
Wow.
Beautiful place. Yeah.
Yeah,
Great ideas. Oh, my goodness.
sorry, didn't mean to.
No, this is great.
Oh,
And if you haven't been on the class that I've been on before, my background picture is a picture from the Grand Canyon, my favorite picture from the Grand Canyon. It just
oh, that's beautiful.
and I took that picture, but I can't say I'm
Wow.
as good as you are though.
What is that for a background, though? Is it?
This is the Grand Canyon in here with a tree, kind of framing it.
But are you sitting in front of a wall with it, or what? What
No,
is-
I'm not actually. And this was through a background class for GetSetUp. They have this
Oh.
class
I don't know.
or
anything about
Zoom.
it.
It's
Virtual
Virtual background.
virtual
Yeah.
background,
Yeah. Okay.
Zoomers. Okay.
Yeah.
As long as you're Zooming, it doesn't work on FaceTime though. I found out it doesn't carry over to that. But this, like when I Zoomed my kids, they could see this.
Mm.
It does solve the issue that I had, which was I'm right by a window. There's my window. It made about half of the picture real bright and the other half real dark.
Mm.
So that this solves it. It's not too bright, not too dark. And even if it gets late in the day, it still looks like that.
So
You know what I'm saying?
how did you do that? Can I ask how?
I'd
Better
have
have-
to look at my notes from the class because by the time the class was over, I had put this on here. I found it and put it on there.
Yeah. It's
I did
actually,
not use the green screen. They talk about the green screen in
Mm-hmm.
class.
yeah.
I did
Mm.
not use that. Yes, my hair, is kind of, I don't know. It's not getting everything. And it's kind of like you sometimes see my shoulder, sometimes you don't see my shoulder, that kind of thing. But it's just as good to
Yeah.
me.
Same with,
Um,
I'm trying to see if it'll do that with mine, but yeah, you can
Yes,
see
yes, it
my
does.
head disappears. Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you do yours with a green screen, Scott?
No, this was a background that GetSetUp provided for us for our classes. Yeah. But
Oh.
Cindy, it's really pretty easy to do if you go to where it says, well, if you're on video, it would say stop video on Zoom at the bottom of your Zoom screen. But if you click on the little arrow next to that and go to choose virtual background, it will give you options, and there's a little plus sign there, and you can just click on that and upload a picture from your computer and use that as your background.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
I realized with the Zoom background, the virtual background, it all depends on your computer as well. It needs a specific, I want to say memory or something like that. If it doesn't have enough, then you can't do it. That's why I am not able to load it onto my MacBook Air to have that virtual background. But if I did the Zoom on my phone, when I downloaded it, the Zoom app, I was able to upload and have a virtual background.
Oh, okay.
They
Okay.
have some background pictures on the program,
Yeah.
but you're such a fantastic photographer. You should pick one of your favorites,
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, Cindy, I hope you're participating in the photo challenge.
Yes, that eagle would be really nice.
Yeah. Yeah.
We can't hear you. I can't hear you.
Oh, me?
No, Cindy.
Cindy.
Oh.
Cindy.
Cindy,
Oh,
Cindy was
Cindy,
on
you're
mute, I
mute.
think.
Oh, can you
There
hear me
you
now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Now I can hear you.
So I haven't participated because the photos that I wanted to grab, I couldn't find them.
Oh, yeah.
That's why I've got to get organized.
Yeah. So if it's any consolation, I'm a big do as I say, not as I do person, because all of my mobile photos are nice and backed up and I can find those. But I've got photos going back 20 years.
Yeah, me too.
And I have backed them up in different places, and I've changed computers 2 or 3 times since then. And so I've got pictures on portable hard drives, but I have like 2 or 3 portable hard drives. And, I'm trying to find something I took in like 2007, and I just have to dig and dig and dig and dig.
Yeah, we're on the same page.
Yeah. Yeah.
So are you going to pull them all together somehow and either get them on Amazon, at least to have them all in one place?
I'm thinking about it. I also use Lightroom because that's another Adobe app. And I've been loading up a lot of things on there, and that is a little more labor intensive. You do have to do a lot of the tagging and everything yourself. So I may do it with those, or I may just go ahead and do it the easy way and get them all backed up on
Amazon.
On Amazon, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So with Amazon, what happens if you are no longer a member, and what happens to all your photos that you've uploaded there? I mean, are they just going to go poof and gone? Or, I mean,
they won't do that. They won't just say you cancel your membership. They will probably send you a notice giving you some time, say, you have 30 days to either pay for the amount of space you're using on their cloud, or download those photos and store them someplace else. Yeah. So I'm sure they'll give you a little bit of a grace period there before they just delete all your photos from your account. Yeah.
I learned something every time I watch your program, Scott. I really appreciate it.
Oh, thanks. I'm glad.
Sometimes it takes 2 or 3 times before I actually can understand it. But
yeah. Yeah, some of this stuff is complicated. I know Google Photos really is hard as a challenge for a lot of people, and it's a challenge for me to teach because it is really complicated. And I still, there are things that sometimes in that class people have known how to do on Google Photos that I didn't even know existed. So that's why I like the interactive learning.
that's good.
Yeah. Yeah. So I thought I'd get inspired to get out and take some pictures myself of birds, but I didn't get around to it this week. But I have taken so many over the years that I feel like I've hit my quota with bird photos, and I need to I need to differentiate a little bit, branch out a little bit. But I really like to take bird pictures.
I when I went out for your challenge, it's not that easy to take bird pictures.
No.
They're either too far away, or they'll fly away, or there's something happening. It's hard.
Yeah. Yeah. I find it easier with although you still have to be very stealthy and quiet, but with larger birds like wading birds, say egrets and herons and even pelicans by the shore or something like that, they're not quite as prone to fly off. I guess they're still easily spooked, but it's sort of easier to get close enough to them to get a fairly decent shot. Whereas some of the tinier birds, like trying to get a picture of a cardinal, which I did finally do last spring, and I was elated. I thought I've been trying to do this for years, and I finally did. Those things do not sit still at all. I mean, the minute you get your camera ready to snap that shot, it's flown off.
For your amusement, I tried. I don't know if you can see anything, and this is like one big blur.
Yeah, yeah. I have plenty of those too. Yeah, they are hard to capture. What's fun is to go to the zoo though and get pictures of some of the exotic birds. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But your challenge in taking bird picture, I had fun with it. I mean,
Yeah. That's good. That's good. Next week might be a little less challenging because it'll be dogs.
Okay.
And even if you don't have a dog, you probably see people out walking their dogs. So it makes it a little easier to grab a picture of those.
Scott, is it okay to take people's pictures of their dogs without their permission, like children? I mean, do people, because people do, have that connection with their dogs as if they're their children.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I mean, some people do. I mean, I'm fine if anybody can take a picture of my dog, I'm fine with it. But other people, you're right. They're probably kind of protective. So it never hurts to ask permission.
Ask permission, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
A friend of mine says when she takes pictures of people's children, she would tell them that she'll send them the picture.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
she, gives them her phone and say, here, take it, and you can send the picture to yourself.
Right.
So that they feel that she's not, because people are very protective, and in the times we live in now, you have to be so careful.
Yeah.
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 And most times, sometimes the dogs, they are in the picture with their dogs because they're walking their dogs, they have to have their dogs on a leash near to them. So they get in the picture too.
Yeah. Yeah. It's funny when you're in public, technically anything goes. It's still, there's, courtesy that comes into play with things like this, but in a public place, like if you go to a demonstration, I think you have pretty free reign to take pictures, but I know that, there are always these extenuating considerations. I know during some of the marches, the Black Lives Matter marches last summer, there were concerns about people being demonstrators being identified and then targeted by law enforcement.
Yeah.
And so they were asking people to not take pictures. And I think a lot of people ignored that and took them anyway. But there, every situation, even if it is in public, there are always things that go beyond the legalities to just, what's courteous or polite.
Yeah. And when you're in a foreign country, you have to be careful about that too, because what might be perfectly acceptable here might be very impolite in another place. And so you always want to ask people if you could take their picture, because some people don't want you to take their picture.
Yeah. I know. I remember being in Chinatown in San Francisco. And I went on a little tour to go through there, and there were some older women in a shop, and I did not realize this, but they don't like to have their picture taken at all. I think there's some concern that it might take away their soul or something like that. So, and
cultural.
It's a cultural thing. And, if you don't happen to know that much about a culture when you go into it, so you don't even have to be in a foreign country. You can be in just a section of a city or someplace where there's a ethnic population that may have different standards and mores and things like that.
That's like the Amish and the Mennonites in Pennsylvania.
Yes.
Yeah.
And this was several years ago because I'm retired now, but I was when I was still working, there was a young man in our office who was an expat from another country, and his wife had just had a baby, and I asked him, I said, "Oh, do you have a picture of the baby?" He said, "Oh, no." He said, "My wife and my mother-in-law won't let me take a picture of the baby, and we can't show it to anybody because of the evil eye." I mean, it was a different culture that he came from.
Yeah.
And I, it was a very innocent thing that I asked him for a picture, but I mean, he wasn't offended because he was very, westernized, but his family was not. And so,
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. That's, yeah. And I've a couple times had to learn the hard way, but in situations like that, I haven't embarrassed myself too much, but yeah. Well, I think we're getting close to the end of the hour, and I do want to tell you about some upcoming things on GetSetUp, but I really enjoyed this. I love talking with you all about all these things. So I think we're going to keep doing these. So
Good.
yeah, Wednesday afternoons are going to be one of my favorite times.
Yeah, 4 to 5.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed it very much.
Me
Yeah.
too. I
Me
enjoyed
too.
this.
I love seeing your photos, Cindy. Maybe you can show us some more.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. Get in that photo challenge, Cindy.
Okay, I'll see what I can do.
Yeah. Okay, well, I just want to give you a heads up on the photo challenge of the week. And just if you haven't heard about this, we are going to be doing this on a weekly basis on Fridays. And each week we'll have a different theme. And that can be anything from taking pictures of a specific object to taking pictures of animals, all kinds of things. And it's just a chance to get some feedback, maybe some advice or suggestions from the other learners. And we love hearing the stories behind the photos, where you were when you took it, any challenges you had in taking it. And we'll vote for a winning image. And the top vote getter receives a GetSetUp prize. So you can enter every week as long as you've got pictures that fit the theme. And as you probably picked up, this week's challenge is birds, and any living being with feathers, save maybe Big Bird, those are great to send in for this. So if you've got pictures of ducks or a blue jay, if you've got a pet bird like a canary or a parrot or something like that, anything goes on this one. And you can submit it to this email address below. This week's challenge, I have the photos coming in at midnight on Wednesday each week, so that I have time to assemble them all and get them ready for us to view on Zoom on Friday. But again, if you don't make it to this week's, next week's is dogs, and the week after that, to give the other top domestic pet equal time, it's cats. So hopefully we'll have most of you covered with one of those types of pets. And anyway, we'll get together this Friday, May 14th at 4 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. If you don't submit anything for the challenge, that doesn't mean you can't come and join us and just have some fun looking at other people's pictures and maybe getting inspired, getting some ideas. We had a lot of fun last week. So I'm really, last week was obviously week one. It was the first time we did it, but we really had a great time. And some other classes coming up. We have a creative writing class just in the creativity realm. We have an interest group about tech, if you want to talk about tech, and also how to look like a superstar on Zoom. Even if you don't want to use a background like we were talking about. My next classes, I think I mentioned I have a food photography class coming up tonight. This is a first, sort of a companion to a lot of the cooking classes that we offer on GetSetUp. So this will just be some fundamentals on taking pictures of food, whether it's something you created yourself or if you want to take pictures at food at restaurants, anything like that. And then tomorrow is that class on knowing your rights about the photos and videos you share online. What happens if you load up a photo on Facebook and Instagram, and how the copyright laws apply and all that. So, and we always love to see what you're working on. If you ever have any photos you just want to share, say on your Facebook feed, you can just give us a shout out. We always appreciate that, to let us know or let people know where you learned it. Our hashtag is GetSetUp. You can also always drop a line or send a picture that you've taken to Liz at getsetup.io. Liz is on our marketing team, and she's always eager to showcase some of the work that our learners have done based on the classes they've taken. And you'll get there really aren't a whole lot of class notes. This is more just free discussion, but you will be able to recommend this session to friends if you want to do that on Facebook or email. We will have some class suggestions for you. You can look here by clicking here to see the entire GetSetUp schedule. You can offer feedback on this if you want to click feedback and just let us know what you thought about this session, what you think might improve it, other things you'd like to see added to it. And as always, you can suggest a class to us or classes to us if there's something you'd like to learn and you don't see us offering it on GetSetUp yet. And when you book a class, you can always invite a friend to join you. This will send an automatic, if you click here, an automatic text to them. You can do that via Facebook, WhatsApp, or email. And if you are interested in hosting an interest group of any kind, and that could include something related to photography, please let us know. You can let us know that at help@getsetup.io. We have interest groups that people get together for every week to talk about shared hobbies, shared interests, favorite movie genres, things like that. You can also email us to suggest a new class at that address. If you are a member of an organization, or you're living in a senior living community of some sort, and you think that there might be some partnership possibilities with that organization and GetSetUp to deliver classes to a special group or anything like that, email us about that and we can follow up. And finally, you can request a recording of this session by emailing that same email address.
Thank you,
Oh,
Scott.
Thank you. Thank you.
It was
Thank you,
great
Scott.
seeing you all, and
So much.
okay, looking forward to seeing you again.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Thank you all
Thank
for
you.
sharing, and thank you, Cindy, for your beautiful photos. They're
Yes.
beautiful.
Yes.
Thank you.
Oh my
Cindy.
gosh.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. And
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Take care, everybody.
thank you. Good night.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.